From Henderson County, we do have Sheriff Matt Link with us. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good, beautiful morning.
Yeah, yesterday was just fabulous, wasn't it?
Oh, wow, just that slight breeze and the temperature. And the good sleeping weather last night, too. Fan in the window. Woo.
There you go. Today we got some clouds, but we're going to have a temp around 78. We'll take that. All right, what's going on in Henderson County, Sheriff?
Well, we're still chugging along. Some good news for us. We end up getting a drone for our department, which, sounds kind of easy to do, but by the time you get the drone and then get that specialized training on the law enforcement side, of course, of all the search and seizure laws, and our chief deputy actually had to go to a class and get a commercial pilot's license to be able to fly the drone itself. So, and then he, of course, got that completed and had to go out in the middle of Iowa and take the test, and so he's been, doing everything basically kind of like a commercial pilot. You go out, fly the drone, do training with it, and log hours and do a bunch of reporting with it. So we're looking forward to using that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have to use it very often, but we do have it in case we do need to use it, for anything from search and rescue, or I know we've called out people who had their personal drones before for like Alzheimer's patients that have driven through the county and stopped and for whatever reason gotten lost and got out of their vehicles and have walked away. We've used drones to look in the area in cornfields and timber and just anywhere we can't get on foot. So it's going to be a great asset to our office.
Yeah, glad you got it. I've heard about the drones being used for search and rescue, so it's fantastic. You have that quickly at your fingertips.
Yeah, and we, of course, we got the options of where we can use thermal at night even too. So, it's going to be a great asset for us.
Are there any specific laws about drone usage? How does that work with the airspace, if you will?
Luckily, with the airspace, we are able to fill out a documentation with the FFA, and of course have to register our drone with its license and all that. And we had to fill out special paperwork. It was kind of funny because when we first got it, we were trying to fly it from the sheriff's office yard. Well, come to find out they have restricted the property of the sheriff's office as restricted property, and you can't fly drones there. So we're thinking, man, what the heck is wrong with this thing? It won't fly. Took it over to the neighbor's yard. It flew, and it wouldn't fly to the sheriff's office. It would automatically stop. So we had to fill out special paperwork to fly in restricted areas, obviously. There's certain things as far, to protect people's rights as far as search rights and that of how far we can fly into how low onto somebody's property, and just small things like that, not to invade people's privacy, basically.
Sure. Okay, good to know. And you have one commercial pilot's license thus far with your chief deputy, so that's fantastic.
Yep, and with his license, we can actually have other deputies fly the drone itself once they're trained, and he just has to be present with them, because usually we have to have actually the pilot there and then a spotter with him as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, what else is new?
We've actually added a canine to our office as well. Our deputy, Chris Spears, he's retired from the military, and he was a canine handler in the military and trained dogs. So he had some contacts and was able to get 3 different grants, which provided us some very good money to make that addition. And obviously, we still have our first canine in Montana, and he was able to get these grants and with generous donations. And we can't thank our community enough for the private donations and the donations from the businesses and townships that we received to be able to keep this canine program going and basically flourishing now with 2. So, like I said, he was able to get those grants, and with the donations, we're able to outfit a car, pay for the dog itself, pay for all the training. And so he has finally gotten through his training, and that canine is on the road and with our other officers assisting them and other agencies. And it's a full-service canine, everything from tracking to article searches to drug detection and handler protection.
Really? Okay, what's this one's name?
Bolo.
So Montana and Bolo.
Bolo, yeah.
Bolo was the name of a character in a Bruce Lee movie, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny story. The dog didn't actually have a name until they went to class and were doing their training, and he was doing a tracking training with them over there, and it said it was like a heat-seeking missile once he got on that track and got to the person he was trying to find. The guy that was at the end of the track, or who they were trying to find, holy cow, he's a heat-seeking missile. It's like a Bolo's out there for me. And so that's how he ended up getting his name.
Got his name, Bolo. Oh, I love it. Bolo in Montana. So you got 2 of them. What kind of dogs?
They're both Belgian Malinois.
Well, how sweet is that? Well, they're there for a purpose.
They're there for a purpose, yeah. Yeah, they're very high-energy dogs, so. And
what do you do with them? I mean, at night, who takes them?
They actually go home with the handlers themselves. They
okay.
have kennels at their homes, and take care of everything with food, water, everything, just like a regular pet, and vet visits and all that.
Will you have a chance to bring them out to Halfway to Freezing for food?
I could probably make that happen. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be awesome. You're out there on that Wednesday at 10 a.m. That'd be awesome to have a friendly visit from the canine.
Yeah, we'll have to see what temperament they're in for sure. Montana is really good with people and very loving. The Bolo, he's obviously fairly new, so
he's high strung,
getting him acclimated, and got to get him calmed down before taking him out in the bunch of people.
I get it. Well, we'll welcome Montana. I love it. Glad you guys have it, because that's important, especially in your rural area. That's a lot of the people you have coming through are from multiple states, typically Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. So
exactly, just another asset for us, and using the drone in connection with the canines it's just going to help our department out immensely.
Okay, let's talk about the jail.
Yeah, it's National Correctional Officers Week, so thank you to all the correctional officers out there and what they do for us. A lot of people don't think about the correctional officers with the police and dispatchers, but man, their job, people don't realize what they have to put up with in those tight facilities, and obviously the older facilities, or even the prisons, on the people and situations and everything that they have to deal with. So thanks to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our jail, we're obviously still looking for applications. We're still taking applications. Unfortunately, at this point, we haven't had enough to be able to reopen our jail. So we are still housing people in Warren County and people in McDonough County, which has actually worked out really well for us. We have a really good working relationship with both counties. So even actually this morning on my way back to Aquaca, I'm picking up a person here in the Warren County Jail and taking them back to court. So we've been doing that. It's been working out really well for us. Financially, it's the numbers that I have ran. I'm a numbers person, so I like having those numbers, and that just sitting in front of me shows what has happened and what can happen in the future. But last year, it was last July, we started housing out of county, is when we lost some employees that went to other places, and so we decided we were going to have to house out of county. So since July of last year, and of course our fiscal years run from December 1st to November 31st. So July of last year to the end of November, I took into consideration what we've paid Warren County, McDonough County, what I've paid an employee to, run back and forth for court to pick up prisoners if we needed to, and their mileage. So, you take that mileage, you multiply it by the federal rate, which is like 70 cents. Mm-hmm. So add all those up. Last year we only spent $25,720 for housing out of county. So that in comparison to paying somebody, obviously that price in comparison to paying somebody's salary is a significant difference. I mean, you can't pay somebody's full-time salary and their benefits for that kind of money. Just one person, let alone the 2 people 24 hours a day that we're required to have in our jail. So obviously we're still housing out of county. So from December of 2024 to actually right up until the beginning of May, same scenarios. What we're paying the counties to house for us, an employee to run back and forth if we need them to run to court, the mileage. And this year we've only paid out $13,840. So again, being financially responsible for the county and for the sheriff's office, that in comparison to paying full-time employees is a significant difference. Do I personally want to see, our jail close or not have employees in our county being able to work for us, no. I mean, it's always nice to have your own facilities. It's always nice to have your own employees and have employees working for you that you know are making money back from the county. But you know, there's a lot to weigh back and forth on that. Those two scenarios there. What's financially responsible for the county, and what basically works out best in the best scenarios of the situations that we have. You know, obviously our jail's obviously pretty old right now. Warren County is obviously looking to build a new one. You know, we're set, ready to go right now. If I had the employees today, I could house prisoners. So our jail is set and ready to go. It's up to standards and all that, but I just don't have the people to be able to house people.
Okay. No challenges with the facility itself. I know it's pretty old too, like a lot of places.
Yeah, it was built in 1934. So we're grandfathered in for a lot of the regulations and codes that the state requires us. So we're able to get around some things that way as far as square footage and some other little things. But yeah, I mean, we're set, ready to go. All the plumbing works. I fixed fixtures in the as far as plumbing. Recoated floors so they're slip resistant. A bunch of little other things you wouldn't think about. But yeah, I mean, as far as the building itself is considered, is ready to go.
Well, keep the county board posted. Our Warren County board has worked hard along with the sheriff as well as the Citizens Advisory Committee because they're really trying hard to do this law enforcement center right, and they want to make sure they have enough room for people like yourself that may have a long-term need as a solution to use the location here.
Yeah, being in all their shoes, wow, that's a lot of work. I don't know if people realize that.
They've put a lot of work into it, yeah.
And they still have a lot of work to do, but
it's a learning process.
From what I've seen, it's going to be a great facility.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. Okay, so that's the jail update, and we continue to house here in Warren County your males, and McDonough County is handling or housing your females.
Correct. Yeah, obviously, Warren County, they don't house females themselves, and if we have a male or whatever for overflow, if we need to, we obviously house those in McDonough County as well, too.
Hence, the new law enforcement center will be able to house females in the future.
Yep.
So, okay, you also wanted to bring up, you've had some challenges. It's not just been in Henderson County. We've been hearing this throughout the state. Scott's Law has been an issue all along. I mean, my goodness.
Yep, we just had a Scott's Law ticket the night before last, I think, come across to be handed over to the state's attorney's office. So.
Remind people what Scott's Law is.
So Scott's Law is basically where if there's a vehicle along the roadway, anything from a police vehicle, ambulance, tow truck, state highway worker, anything with amber flashing lights or emergency flashing lights, you are required to move over and slow down. So what that means is, obviously here we have a lot of 2-lane roads. So if you're approaching a emergency vehicle along the roadway, no matter what side of the roadway it's on, if you're, driving up to it face to face, then you're to slow down and maintain your lane. Obviously look for people out walking around or whatever, so slow down. So if you are approaching it from the rear, then you are to slow down, merge one full lane over if you can. So that's basically changing opposite lanes and going around. If you can't, you're supposed to slow down and either stop and wait or make sure there's nobody around and slowly creep forward to make sure it's safe to go around so that way nobody gets hit. Yeah,
safety. Come on, people. Be safe. Now, you're also dealing with the stop arm violations.
Yeah, school bus stop arm. And I just look and pat your shoulder there, and there's a school bus coming through the square. But, man, this year for whatever reason, we've had more complaints and violations of school bus stop arm violations of people running the school bus stop arms. I mean, it's to the point, including myself and other deputies, in the mornings we go out and watch school buses pick up kids. In the afternoons after school, I'll follow a bus and watch them do drop-offs. But still, even when we've had myself or deputies, when we're sitting there following the bus, we've had people run the stop arms. So I don't get it. If people aren't paying attention, put down your phone, pay attention. You see the school bus. Obviously, they have the yellow flashing lights. So those come on. In urban areas, they come on around 100 feet to warn people that they're going to be stopping to pick up children. Rural areas, it's 200 feet. So if you see those lights coming on, go ahead and slow way down. You know they're going to stop. You may not know exactly where they're going to stop. In a rural area, you're going to see, oh, there's a house coming up. They're going to be picking up children. So instead of if you come up to a stoplight and you see yellow, you want to get through fast, a lot of people gun it and go through. Don't do that with a school bus.
No.
There's kids there. Then obviously they're going to stop. As soon as they stop, the red lights come on, and those stop arms start to come out to supposed to stop traffic. So, and once that stop arm is fully extended and you drive past that bus, that's a stop arm violation. So, I put it in perspective of it's the same thing as a railroad crossing. You see those red lights come on, you're thinking, oh man, there's a train coming, I don't want to get hit. Well, every kid on that bus and the bus driver is, the red lights are out, you need to stop so a kid doesn't get hit.
You got it.
Heaven forbid. But you're not putting yourself in a dangerous situation of crossing a railroad track stop arm. So why are you doing it for a school bus?
Like you said, those kids usually get off the bus, walk around the front of the bus to their home, typically if it's on that side of the road. Exactly.
And our school does a really good job of trying to route the routes to where the children don't have to walk across the full roadway, where they can let them off on that shoulder. But there are situations where you can't get around that, and the children have to walk across the roadway.
Okay. And finally, you still got grants out trying to think about the future of having a school resource officer at West Central.
Yeah, it's something that I had talked about even during my campaign, 2.5 years ago, is wanting to get a school resource officer. And that's still something I'm very passionate about and want to get a officer in our school. So we filled out, I want to say, 3 grants now. And we haven't received any of those grants. I have a grant out right now that we've done to the ILESP, which is the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. It's a recruit and retention grant. So we don't know when that grant is going to be rewarded. It should be sometime this year. So we're still waiting on that grant as well. Hopefully, fingers still crossed, we'll be awarded that grant. And who knows? I've been talking with Stacy Day, the superintendent out there, and of course she's all in favor for a school resource officer and writing letters for us if we need something on the grants. So still working with her and hopefully get in front of the school board sometime and maybe talk about them financially on what we can do together to make this happen.
Okay. Thank you for all the updates, Sheriff.
Yeah, not a problem.
Appreciate it. Everybody stay safe. And, thanks to all the corrections officers this week. It's National Corrections Officers Week, Police Officers Week, Nurses Week. There's a lot to celebrate this week.
A lot going on.
Sheriff Matt Link with us, Henderson County.